From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate. The race to replace Justin Trudeau as party leader marches on for the federal Liberals. A pair of debates are planned for later this month, with the French-language tête-à-tête planned for Feb 24th and the English-language debate on the 25th. One of the front-running candidates has called for at least 4 debates to be held ahead of the party's vote. In an open letter last month to the other candidates, former Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland said that the debates, 2 in each official language, should be held as soon as possible. Now, out on the campaign trail in Ontario, Progressive Conservative leader Doug Ford is touting his party's border security measures amid the threat of U.S. tariffs. The NDP, they are promising a monthly grocery rebate for Ontarians, which would give a family of 4 up to $122 a month to offset food costs. And the Ontario Liberal Party is pledging to appoint a special investigator to probe the Ford government's closure of the Ontario Science Centre and the now-reversed plan to develop parts of the Greenbelt. Heads up on the East Coast. Blizzard conditions are forecast for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador's Avalon Peninsula. Environment Canada says the storm is expected to begin Sunday night and last until Monday afternoon. Between 20 to 35 centimeters are forecast, with the highest amounts expected on the eastern half of the peninsula. Manitoba Hydro is asking people how they would feel about paying an extra $9 a month to help improve infrastructure and reduce the frequency of power outages. The Crown-owned Energy Corporation issued the question as part of a poll. Also included in the survey are questions asking whether people might switch their usage of large appliances to evenings or weekends if it means saving money on their monthly bill. Manitoba Hydro spokesman Scott Powell says the poll is simply taking the pulse of the public and doesn't outline any firm plans. Now, south of the border in Ohio, where residents confronted a group of neo-Nazis who were all dressed in black and waving swastika flags on an overpass Friday north of Cincinnati. Julian Cook, a pastor at a nearby Baptist church, led a prayer vigil to calm the crowd.
People are afraid, they're scared, they're angry.
At least one neo-Nazi was seen holding a long gun. A swastika flag was also ripped away and set on fire. And finally, a disturbing case in Michigan as a young teen is accused of home invasions and violent attacks.
A Michigan teenager is in custody after allegedly breaking into homes and targeting young girls.
This is the worst nightmare for any parent.
Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard says the 13-year-old suspect entered through unlocked windows with some victims threatened at knife point.
The most recent one was where he had grabbed the female in her bedroom and had a knife. We believe he had a knife in at least 3 of these attacks.
The break-ins, which date back 2 years, were linked after multiple recent incidents. Prosecutors are now considering charges. Dave Packer, ABC News.
This is the Canadian Press. In sports, starting off in the NBA, where the Toronto Raptors are off until later this afternoon when they take on the Houston Rockets. Now, the Rockets will be coming off a 116-105 loss at the hands of the Dallas Mavericks. Also, the Los Angeles Lakers won their 5th straight NBA game by defeating the visiting Indiana Pacers 124-117. Former Raptor Pascal Siakam led the Pacers with 23 points. Over to the NHL, the New Jersey Devils blanked the Montreal Canadiens 4-0. The Ottawa Senators were on the wrong side of a 5-1 decision with the Florida Panthers. The Vancouver Canucks topped the Toronto Maple Leafs 2-1, and the Calgary Flames lost in overtime 3-2 to the Seattle Kraken. Still on the ice, Canada's women's team defeated the USA 3-1 in Game 5 to win the Rivalry Series hockey tournament, which was being held in Summerside, PEI. And Canadian Denis Shapovalov will face second-seeded Casper Ruud of Norway in the final at the ATP Dallas Open. From the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.